We're glad to have you back. Well, the indications that domestic air travels may stay longer with incidents of flight delays and cancellations as airlines give a long list of challenges that have compelled them to such poor performance. This is coming on the heels of the inability of the aviation authorities, including the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, airlines and other stakeholders in the country to address the shortfall, of course, issues affecting the sector. The development has become a norm in Nigeria's aviation sector as more than 60% of flight operating in the country have been delayed, while about 13% are cancelled, according to statistics obtained from the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA. A breakdown of the challenges responsible for constant flight delays include foreign exchange, scarcity of aviation fuel, also known as Jet A1, among others. Well, let's discuss this, and I introduced him earlier. He's an award-winning journalist, an aviation analyst, Mr. Wale Shadari. Thank you so much. It's good to have you, and compliments of the season.
Compliment of the season. Thanks for having me.
Yes, flight cancellations. Yeah. I just spoke to a colleague that's supposed to be in from Kano since yesterday, and it's been next hour, 2 hours. They pushed them to this morning, and I think they left about 2 hours ago. What is the true situation of things?
Thank you very much. I think we can look at flight cancellations from two angles. Anytime you have a festive period like this, there's bound to be flight cancellations.
Okay.
And also we look at the time of the year. The Harmattan haze is out and is affecting a lot of flight operations to many parts of the country, especially to the southeast, most part of the north too. And just yesterday, the NCA, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, issued a circular warning pilots not to take risk when the weather is when the weather is not clement, for them to do what is expected of them to make sure that they put their aircraft on ground before they get clearance that the weather is good before they can go. All these are some of the things that have contributed to the problems that we have. If you also look at it, we're having a lot of trips, especially to the, like I mentioned, to the southeast. That is where the traffic is now. A lot of people want to go for the festivities and some other things they want to do. So we usually have a lot of people wanting to travel during this period to the southeast, to the south-south, and that is usually where the traffic is. And most times, when Christmas is fast approaching, the airlines, what they do, they get more equipment to meet the surging demand.
Okay.
Last month, Air Peace, Ibom took delivery of aircraft, although on wet lease basis. I don't know how they are going to make money on wet lease. No airline makes money on wet lease. So, but if you're acquiring it or you're on what we call, there are so many types of leases that you can, that will not take so much money from you, but maybe they have done their feasibility study to say that, okay, the amount of money we're going to make during this period will make up for whatever arrangement we have with aircraft. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that we're usually having problems towards this period when it comes to flight operation. You have the weather to contend with. You also have some issues to also contend with, the scarcity of aviation fuel, which has become a perennial issues in the aviation. I think from the beginning of this year, we've been talking about this. And we've discussed that on this program twice or three times, that we thought we have seen the end of it. But unfortunately, we are having this problem. But some experts will tell you that if we are having aviation fuel scarcity, how come it's not affecting the foreign airlines? Yeah. But a lot of people will tell you that the quantity that the marketers have, what they do, they ration it to the foreign airlines because they know they are going to pay in dollars compared to you that you are going to pay in naira. So they make more money by reserving enough quantity for the international airlines to make their operation. I think a lot of people have been having problems. A lot of travelers have been having problems. But it's not as bad as we are painting it. The problem is there. But I traveled to Owerri last week, and it wasn't as bad as that, despite the rush that we're having. But what is certain is that the airfares have gone up and is expected to go up too. anytime you have a festive period like this, airfare will most likely go up because it's an opportunity for airlines to make money. Apart from its opportunity for airlines to make money, is a period where the demand outweighs supply.
Yeah.
So a lot of people want to travel at the same time. The number of seats that you have are not enough for the number of people who want to take to air travel. So what they do is that they try to raise the fare. It also happened internationally during summer. When you look at the situation around the airport, very chaotic, especially when you go to big airports like Heathrow, you go to JFK airport, you see a lot of people who are stranded because of the airlines are not able to accommodate the surge that they have. So they begin to look for ways to make it better for travelers. But like I said, it's not a new thing. But the only thing that is new here and that has been with us or that has lived with us is perennial fuel scarcity. How are we going to tackle this? How are we going to address it? And you cannot blame the marketers too, because they will sell to airlines and other users of the commodity at the price they bought to. And that is why you see a fluctuation in the price of the commodity. So it now comes to the level that airlines too have to adjust what they have, adjust their airfare to match the cost of Jet A1. Because if you also look at it, Jet A1 takes about 30% of the airline's revenue. And when there's scarcity, it could go up as high as 40%. So at times you can't blame the airline, but at times too, the airlines see this as an opportunity to make life difficult for travelers. By making life difficult for travelers by charging more than what is expected of them to charge. In a monopolistic market where you have airlines, maybe one airline or two airlines going to a destination, the tendency that the fares will be high is there because these are just the two. You look at what is happening now. Lagos to Owerri, because of the festive season, has crashed even before Christmas. What it means is that a lot of people, a lot of airlines are now going to that destination. So naturally, it will force down fare.
Competition.
Are we going to say aviation fuel price has come down? No, it hasn't come down. But competition is driving this. Competition is making it to for it to be more competitive and for it to be more reasonable for people to take to air travel. So competition is good. Despite the high cost of Jet A1, once you have competition, it is still going to drive down the price of fares. So, and that is what we have seen now. Before, early this year, airfare to places like Abuja cost 70, 80, 100,000 naira. And the airline operators agreed that they had no other choice than to increase airfares. And a lot of people agree with them because Jet A1 was very expensive then. So they needed to do that to match the cost of their operation. But what has happened now, what has changed now that airfares are becoming cheaper, it is because of competition. We are having more airlines getting, certification by NCAA. We have a lot, about 2 or 3 airlines coming in now. We have ValueJet that has even added to what we have in the market. So all this will naturally force down price of fares. But it's quite unfortunate that we're still having this problem that, has stayed with the industry from January to this.
Till now, I'll ask you next question. It will be a 2-in-1 question. Okay. Do you think the airline operators can, on their own, bring in products? Do you think they can? If they would do that, they would definitely need the FX from the central bank. That is one. Before you come in, then the second one. What's the update with regards to Nigerian Air? I think the AON has taken the federal government to court or something.
Yes. I also, let me take the second question.
Go ahead. Very interesting.
I think we're almost having Nigeria Air for the airlines. Not all of them. I think about 4 or 5 of them decided to do what a lot of people felt was very, very unpatriotic. One, you can't stop the government from floating an airline. Nowhere in the world that says government cannot float a national carrier. And that has been my suggestion, that has been my argument with some of the people who are not comfortable with that. And the reason some of these airlines took government to court is that they felt, okay, the coming of Nigeria Air and with the collaboration of Ethiopian Airlines, we hurt their operation.
It's a threat to their business.
It's a threat to their business. But I think it is not a threat to their business. We're having the SATIM, the Single Africa Air Transport Market, and the ATFA. These are AU initiative, African Union initiative that will help the market in Africa, that will liberalize air transportation in Africa by making the market look like a domestic market. What it means is that it allows you fifth freedom, that you can pick your passengers from here to that place and another to your destination. And this will help a lot of people. And you need a national carrier to drive this. I'm not saying it's compulsory, but a situation where the government felt, okay, that this domestic airline, Nigerian airlines have not done exceptionally well, then the government feels that there should be intervention. And mind you, it's not government that is going to run this airline. It's private sector driven. Government just has 50% there to protect the airline. So it doesn't even stop the domestic airline to partner with this national carrier and begin to have benefit. And like the Minister of Aviation said, he said he called them on several occasions for them to come and buy stake in this airline. But maybe they felt it was not going to work out. Maybe they felt it was a ruse, that there's nothing going to be, that will be called Nigeria Air. And they left it, only for them to go to court and say, would they want to stop this airline? And I've asked some of them, why do you want to stop this project? Does it stop you from operating? They came up with the shareholding wasn't okay, a lot of issues were wrong. And I say, what is the shareholding problem? In most countries, Ethiopian Airline is the biggest airline. The Ethiopian Airline is the biggest airline in Africa, and most profitable airline. Why wouldn't I partner with an airline that has track record? Why wouldn't
for 70 years?
For 70 years, they've been profitable and they've done so well. And before now, we have a lot, I think about 30 pilots that they are training in Addis Ababa, cabin crew and all the rest. So what are we losing? We are not losing anything, rather we are gaining. So, and if you look at Ethiopian Airline has intervened in so many airlines in Africa. In fact, they have shares in so many airlines and helping African Airlines to revive their carrier. If they are selfish, as a lot of people have branded them, I don't think they will want to do that. They will just say,
limit
okay,
themselves
to that. But in this era, people are looking for partnership. People are no longer doing it alone. They can say, okay, I can say to Lu, you're so proficient in this area. Let me also bring my expertise. Let's us create something rather than go it alone, because you share the profit and you share the losses too. So the case is in court, and it will come up for hearing on the, I think, 16th of January. It initially was February, but the judge decided to bring it back because it's very, he felt that it's very important for them to resolve this matter so that we can have this national carrier. Your first question was...
yes, I was talking about the operators, the airline operators. Can they have the capacity to bring in aviation for themselves?
Yes, they can, but it's not their core mandate. But they can do that, like a lot of airlines also do that. Like the likes of British Airways, they do fuel hedging, they have their own depot, they store fuel. Arik was going to do that before, but we didn't know what happened to them. I think they were going to have a depot around the airport where they can store aviation fuel so that when they have problems, they can buy directly from anywhere they want to. So it was going to be very cheap for them, but I don't know what really happened. They jettisoned that idea. Yes, airlines can do that. They can get their license and say they want to start importing fuel for themselves and things like that, but for now, they haven't done that. Like I said, the ON is not really organized. I say so with a sense of responsibility, in the sense that they were trying to do co-sharing at a particular time, bring all the airlines together to collaborate and cooperate. But up to now, nobody has heard about what they call the spring... they call it the spring summit, I can't remember now, where airlines can collaborate. If we are all going to Abuja at 7 o'clock and I feel that, okay, I have just 10 passengers or 20 passengers and the other one has 30 passengers. Instead of flying empty, we can pull our passengers together in one aircraft and share the profit. Okay. And that's what it is. That is what they do all over the world. Even in some African countries, you co-share. But that has not come to be. And I don't know what is holding that. Because it was well celebrated then, and a lot of people clapped for them and said, okay, this should be the change maker in the industry. This will change the narrative of, to curtail flight delays and all manner of shenanigans in the aviation industry. But up to now, we haven't seen anything in that direction. And that is why I said, to a large extent, the airline operators under the AON are not organized. They've not put themselves together to resolve the problems of the industry. We have a lot of problems, and if you look at it, a lot of them will tell you they have not been given opportunities, and I'll tell them, what opportunity has government not given them? Government has designated so many of them on international route, apart from Airpeace that is trying to do what I call skeletal international flight operation. All others have not been able to do anything. So if you look at the traffic into Nigeria, it is controlled by foreign airlines. 85%, 90% of the traffic into Nigeria, international traffic, is controlled by foreign airlines. Even in Africa, about 75, 80% of the traffic into Africa is controlled by foreign airlines. So where are we in the area of aviation development? And these are really stunted our growth. The domestic airline, our airline should, come together and see how they can help us to minimize this capital flight. When they talk about foreign airlines coming to take all the money away, I say, are they not offering services? Are they not offering things that people can see? If we are able to come together and say, okay, just 5% of this market, we want to take part in it. That 5% or 10% will be enormous amount of money for this country. But even as at today, I don't think Airpeace is flying to Dubai any longer, because Emirates is not coming here. And also, I don't think maybe it's only South Africa they're doing now. And that alone has not been able to reciprocate the bilateral air services agreement. Over 90 bilateral air services agreements we have with foreign countries. I think we have not been able to even reciprocate 10% of that bilateral air services agreement. So aviation is very alien to us, no matter how we talk about it. And yes, some of the airlines have tried, but there are a lot of gaps that we need to fill, and we can fill this gap with the national carrier. And some of us, I support it wholeheartedly, that rather it will provide employment, it will help us to generate a lot of foreign exchange. It will stimulate the market, the Nigerian aviation market, and I don't know why somebody would be so scared of this airline by going to court. Is in their right to go to court to challenge anything they feel is detrimental to their operation, but we also need to look at it from the patriotic angle, nationalistic angle.
All right, I must thank you so much. Interesting conversation with you as usual. We'll continue with all of this in 2023, God willing, because our next discussion might be that time. Thank you so much, Mr. Wale Shadari. It's always interesting having you on the show. Aviation journalist and analyst there. Thank you so much, and do enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much.